What if the movie that captured our childhood imaginations was never meant to end the way we remember? Before the NeverEnding Story soared onto the screen with Falkor, Atreyu, and the childlike Empress, the filmmakers had a very different vision, and some of it never made it past the cutting room floor.
You would be willing to go on a quest?
Yes, of course. What kind of a quest?
To find a cure for the Empress, and to save our world.
From scrapped storylines to behind-the-scenes tension, the original plans for the NeverEnding Story reveal a version of Fantasia you've never seen before.
I'm a luck dragon. My name is Falkor.
And my name is...
Atreyu. And you're on a quest.
How'd you know that?
You were unconscious.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss a tale from the world behind the screen. You might be surprised to learn that the 1984 movie only covers the first half of Michael Ende's original novel. The second half, where Bastian becomes a power-hungry ruler of Fantasia, was originally part of the film's plan.
Then you must know what can save Fantasia.
Yes, we do.
Well, what is it? I have to know.
Wolfgang Petersen, the director, initially wanted to adapt the entire book, but as the screenplay developed and production costs rose, the second half of the story was cut entirely. That's why the movie ends with Bastian flying on Falkor, seeking revenge on bullies, leaving out the darker consequences of his wish-granting powers. The second half of the book explores themes of identity, corruption, and self-discovery. It's a much heavier journey, and one that was planned for the screen but deemed too complex and expensive at the time. Author Michael Ende hated the movie adaptation. In fact, he was so upset with the direction it took, he demanded they remove his name from the credits. Ende felt the original plans were faithful, until the filmmakers started adding changes like cheesy rock music, overly elaborate creature designs, and altering major story elements.
I think I know what it was. Tell us more.
Near my home, there used to be a beautiful lake. But then it was gone.
The script originally stayed true to his tone, more philosophical, more subtle, but those drafts were revised for mainstream appeal.
That's not true. If it didn't really matter to you, you could tell me.
Clever boy.
Tell me, please!
We don't know.
He even filed a lawsuit to stop the production, but he lost. Still, he never forgave the filmmakers, calling it a gigantic melodrama of kitsch, commerce, plush, and plastic. Some scenes that were never filmed but cut include a more extended introduction to Fantasia's geography, deeper dialogue between Bastian and the childlike Empress.
And the more wishes you make, the more magnificent Fantasia will become. Really? Try it.
And an early appearance of Zaide, a villain from the book's second half intended to tease a larger arc.
I control all that is empty.
Just to control things, you destroy stories and books?
I'm simply trying to bring order to the chaos of Fantasia. Am I wrong?
One early concept even imagined Bastian slowly transforming physically the more wishes he made, mirroring his psychological descent. That idea was too surreal and costly for 1984's special effects, so it was scrapped. Another dropped idea? A Mirror of Dreams sequence that would have shown Bastian's subconscious.
But why is Fantasia dying then?
Because people have begun to lose their hopes and forget their dreams.
Planned using experimental effects, but later deemed too abstract and confusing for a younger audience. At one point, Petersen and his producers floated the idea of splitting the novel into two films. The first would follow Atreyu's quest. The second would chronicle Bastian's rule of Fantasia and his journey back to the real world.
But I lost the Aran. I can't find my luck dragon. So I won't be able to get beyond the boundaries of Fantasia.
But due to behind-the-scenes drama, growing budget concerns, and the fractured relationship with Michael Ende, that plan was shelved. Instead, a sequel, The NeverEnding Story 2, the next chapter, was made in 1990 with an entirely different creative team, and only loosely adapted the second half of the book. It lacked the magic and vision of the original, and by then, the moment had passed.
How can you believe her? How can we even be sure she's going to help us free the childlike Empress? I do not trust her. I can tell when someone lies to me.
The NeverEnding Story could have been a two-part epic exploring the rise and fall of a boy given godlike power. But what we got was a beautiful, bittersweet slice of 80s fantasy that lives on in our memories.
Do you suppose the Ivory Tower is still standing?
Let's hope so, Atreyu. Let's hope so.
Let the Auryn guide you. If the Ivory Tower still stands, take us there.
Still, somewhere out there, in an alternate universe of film history, Fantasia lives on in its full original form. One can only imagine. If you enjoyed this dive into what could have been, hit that like button and subscribe for more lost movie history. And let us know in the comments, would you have wanted a darker, full-length adaptation of The NeverEnding Story? Until next time, keep dreaming, because the story never really ends.